Just got back from work. I should be trading market open, but I really want to test the MPATSS again, see if it's working at 7 a.m. and stuff. So we're trading last Wednesday, which was 13th. Let's give it a shot. OG MPATSS. So let's see. Got a spike down. Yeah. You listen, Chacho? Oh. Did you listen? Then that again, that's a spike too. You could have bought here, because if you take a look at the minute chart, it's a spike down. I think I like this sell here. So we have a spike down, but then you have people who are going to chase that short-term spike in that direction, and they like to chase those spikes. So we can imagine a ton of people chasing this spike, and as well as that short-term trend. So I do like this sell very much. Let's give it a shot. If we get in the trade, of course. Oh, just got in the trade. Nice, good trade. Got super lucky for sure. We can imagine a lot of resistance coming here, so we can imagine the short-term trend being this direction. So I actually think buying might be the best option here. Let's give it a shot. Or this could. Trying to think. This could push down some more though. How to trade. Second entries work well if there seems to be top pickers not moving their stops. So maybe this guy. And the trade. Nice, good trade. Essentially top pickers. Good note here. Thank you, Nick. Which says second entries work well if there seems to be top pickers not moving their stops. I'm not sure why I have excluding spikes. Oh, so this is top picking. If the spike would have been went like that, understandable. But there was consolidation there, of course. So good trade. Also says that the people like to trade back into congestion / range / support, which was this. So let's give it a shot. It's also a spike out of there. People like to trade that back into here. Let's go for the buy and a swing low first entry, second entry. Actually, it should have been a non-obvious. Yeah, non-obvious. So that's a high 25. We already got in the trade already. That would have worked. Okay, according to the chase spikes. Let's give it a shot. I'm a little worried about this, but we'll just stick with the strategy. Not depending on our. This is still our signal bar since the high swing. Not dependent on our, feelings, I guess you could say. Consolidating a little bit. And I think picking tops. Definitely a spike. Nice. Thank you, MPATSS. Let's see if we could hit our 30. Market's about to open, so let's just stay out of the trades up until 9:30ish. All right, and we're back at 9:30. Let's go ahead and read what the market says. 9:30 to 10 a.m. Look at the first hour of market opening. How are spikes, second entries? So we take a look at the 8:30 day, and spikes are being played. They keep pushing up. Got a spike here. People are trying to sell, and it keeps pushing up. So essentially, every time you get that spike, people try to trade back in, and it pushes right up. So people are calling those tippity tops, or people are calling tops, and so people are essentially calling tops, and every single time too, calling tops. Okay. So the thing about this is I think people are consistently calling tops, which is why I think buying here might be the better option. But let's see. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, it looks like we might get stopped out if we took that trade. Probably. Yep, definitely would have got stopped out. Good thing we did not take it. I think it's your first opportunity to enter this, so selling there is actually the best option. We can imagine everybody's still trying to push the market back up into these highs. Oof, never mind. Actually, looks like something changed in the market. I'll give this a shot. Let's hope it doesn't correct too much and just keeps pushing up. We just broke at that level of resistance as well, so this might backfire on us. Oh, nice, we got it. Once again, it's your first opportunity to enter. It's that topping motion, and people might actually go against that and keep on trying to push the market up, which was why I think selling there is actually a better option. I think we could still get in the trade here. Yep. Yeah, let's see. Oh, or not. So essentially we just have top pickers. That's why this move keeps on happening, because people are picking that top, and when you have that consolidation to a topping pattern, you best believe people are going to try and pick that top, and especially that's why that market started to push up there. Could have bought there, actually not, I don't want to do. Should have sold here because it was spiked down. Stella, please.
Dago, 540 has no one. Dago, 500.
Yeah, selling it because it's spiked down, right? Kind of feeding Stella, so I didn't really catch that, but yeah, essentially it's a spike down. People are gonna chase that. No, people are gonna try to reverse it, pick the bottoms, especially since you've been on a strong uptrend. You would want to sell on a one ticker. Actually, I just realized we're on the wrong tick chart, right? It's supposed to be on this guy technically, right? So actually, yeah, buying there would have been the best option, right? Spike down, yeah. So essentially we were correct. Interesting. Tell me the correction swing high first entry. You would have bought right there because you got top pickers. Might have to trade this again actually. Or something right here. The market can instantly switch its behaviors and no longer play spikes or patterns in how been since 8:30. So essentially people are picking those tops. So people might actually start to go long here. So going short might actually be the best option. Not obvious. And it would have worked if we did a one ticker. Yeah. So you can see now the market actually starts to correct. So now we can suspect a ton of people starting to keep on pushing the market up here. So selling might be the better option. Let's give it a shot. MPATSS, don't fail us. Yeah. So it looks like there was no flip flop. Let's see, give it a shot. Nice. So it looks like the market is still consistent with people picking tops. Now we could use that to our advantage. Market actually has a swing on the minute chart, so we're going to switch to the 700 tick chart. And yeah, I really like this trade here. Let's give it a shot. Good trade. So essentially what we have here, so we switched to the 700 tick chart because the minute chart was showing the swing low first entry, second entry. And so I really like this trade and was super confident in this one because you have that level of resistance right here that's the highest of the day, right? Hey, can you stop? Stella's falling asleep. And then you come and test. Did you finish your work? You can do it, mi amor. Then you test it, and then you come and test it again, and then you finally break out of it. And now what people like to do is trade back into those ranges / resistance. And so pushing the market out of there is the first thing you want to do, and also people are going to be picking those tops. So that was a good trade. Non-obvious would have been the better entry. I was thinking, why did I enter in a one ticker? Well, that's because you're supposed to enter in a non-obvious, and that would have been the best trade you could take. So good trade. Either way, it works out. Okay, something to take note of is that this is a spike. Minute chart has a swing here that this guy doesn't. This one has a swing here that the minute chart doesn't. So just stick to the 700 tick chart. Just same number of swings. I guess that's all that matters. A couple of reasons I like this trade. Let's give it a shot. It is a massive drop. In the trade. Nice. So all that we were relying on there was the spike, and essentially it shows up the same thing on the minute chart. So we know that's a good trade. It's not just a coincidence of bars. So you swing at first entry, second entry. So that matches up with the minute chart. Nice. And so selling there on a one ticker because it is a spike. And you're selling that because people are essentially buying those spikes and trying to push the market up in that direction again. So good trade, good trade. Okay. Oh, we just got entered into the trade. Wait a minute, why are we yeah, we're selling here. Oh, we're one tick away from our scalp. It would have came to the tick. Oh, nice. Got the scalp. So that was a very good trade. Two things are happening here, which is you have this guy, right? What am I doing? This guy. I just dropped my sriracha. Alright, so essentially you have that bottoming pattern. People are going to chase that and try to reverse it and push the market up. Also, you have a spike down, so people are still, whether that pattern showed up or not, people are going to try to short that. I mean, go long there and try to reverse the spike to keep this market going up. And I like that trade because it looks like the market's going to keep on going in this direction, but we know there's going to be some bottom pickers. Some bottom pickers trying to push the market up, and they're thinking, oh wow, they've been on this uptrend. That's a bottoming pattern. It's a good place to buy, and that's when the market reverses. So good trade, good trade. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick nap, and then I'll be back to finish off this day. So far, not too bad, right? I don't think so. And we're back. Make sure you keep on referring back to that minute chart. All right, at 11 a.m. Let's just remind ourselves. You should trade against traders trying to outsmart everyone else. According to our notes, they trade against traders who trade against short-term trends. So they're always going to go with the overall trend. They trade against people who pick tops but pick tops and spikes. Okay. Pick tops and spikes. So overall trend still. Trade against scuff. How to trade? Trade using scuff trading when traders try to outsmart the market. All right. So it looks like people could be potentially going long here, so you still want to go short. So the overall trend is still up. So let's see. Still a non-obvious unless we could count this as a spike, which I feel like it's not. It's not as big as a move as this spike. It's like almost there, but not really. Okay, now it is. So there's a bunch of support here. We can imagine 10 people still going long, trying to go with the overall trend. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, it came to our tick. And it left without us. Interesting. Yeah, we would have got that scalp already, which is interesting enough. And we still got it. Wow. Usually our rules say just stay out of the trade if it triggers already, but since we're just playback trading testing, went ahead and did it anyway. So good trade, good trade. So essentially we went long there just because you have this overall uptrend, right? That's your overall uptrend. It's a pretty obvious one. You can just draw it out real quick. And according to our notes, it says they trade against traders who trade against the short-term trends. Wait, let's just say trade with, right? Yeah, so trade using scuff trading when traders try to outsmart the market. So essentially they're just gonna continuously go with the overall trend, which is up here, and then you have a ton of support here. That gives them a good indication to be like, hey, let's go long. And selling there, you could have done a non-obvious as well. It's not much of a spike, but either one works. So yeah, good trade. And depending on whether this is supposed to say with or not. So I'm debating whether it's supposed to say with or against, like I said, because it's a little bit of a confusing sentence. They trade against traders who trade against short-term trends, so they're always gonna trade with the short-term trends. Alright, that's the second entry here. Kind of fast forward to a bit too fast, but let's see what it looks like. Alright, short-term trend is up. Overall trend now is down because you're bouncing off these lows, right? So now there is a trend now because you're thinking about these specific lows. If you look at these lows, then we can say like, oh, now we're gonna get a push up here, and a lot of people can see that as well. So now that really puts this short-term trend, this push up, into like a more serious state. So we can imagine a ton of people buying here as well. Well, no, it puts the short-term trend like this is the short-term trend instead of the downtrend being the short-term trend and this being the overall trend. Now this is the overall trend and this is the short-term trend. Stella eats everything, not like Tato. Stella's gonna eat fish sticks. Tato eat fish sticks? No. Oh gosh, made it sound like she was like, oh no. My goodness. Alright, well. Alright, we can still take it if we want to. So overall trend is not, I think this is a bottom that people are definitely seeing. Test at 1, 2, and that's the third time being tested. So we can imagine this blue line becoming the support for that short-term trend of the going long. So the overall trend is now down since we've been so sideways. So I'm debating, should we go ahead and give it a test? Actually, since we would have to do a non-obvious because of that very reason. If we were to take a position here, let's go ahead and see. Let's give it a shot. Give it a little testity test. May not even get triggered. Just alright, we're triggered. Nice. Nice. I would like for it to keep on pushing up though, just so no, it's a nice good confirmation. We got that good trade in. Nice. That's the confirmation I wanted. So good trade. So essentially we were right about that. You have this support here now, and now the short-term trend is up now. Because right before this, the short-term trend was down because everyone was still playing this upward trend. But then once you come and test that a couple times, people are starting to see this as, oh, we could potentially be going up now. So the people who are potentially going in a specific direction, the direction that they're trading in, it becomes a short-term trend. And the previous well, the opposite is now the overall trend. So now the overall trend was down, has become down, and the short-term trend becomes up. So that's why actually going long there is actually a pretty good idea. And you could have done one ticker and it would have worked just by telling by that bar right there. However, you would have to do a non-obvious just because of all that support right here. Same thing if, and vice versa on the opposite side. If you had a ton of resistance on the other side, you would still have to do a non-obvious entry. And yeah, so pretty good trade. And that's more than enough room that we needed. More than enough of a correction. Alright, so I'm debating whether either the downtrend has become the short-term trend. This has become the overall trend because it is a spike down of a strong support and tons of testing. So I can imagine actually a ton of people going long here. So actually I think selling here is actually might be the better option because this could be the overall trend here. Let's give it a shot. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We're in the trade. Got it. Nice. Let's go. Good read. Like, let's freaking go, guys. Like, let's do it. Another way to confirm that is that people, once you break out of that support / resistance, people like to trade back to the other side or back into it. So that becomes a very strong trend, which now the most popular trend, the overall trend, and that two-legged pullback becomes a short-term trend. Good trade. So that level of support is absolutely crucial for that trade. Consolidating here. According to our notes. Oof. Nice, let's go. According to our notes, it says they trade against people who pick tops, but pick tops on spikes. So that's absolutely crucial in this situation. This is not a spike. This guy is a spike. This guy is not a spike. It's congestion of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. And essentially that looks like a bottoming pattern, which we know is where you buy low. And essentially people are going to end up trying to continue going short, as you can see in our note here, as it's 11 a.m. and on. They trade against people who pick tops, but pick tops on spikes. So they trade against people who pick tops, essentially, or in this case, pick bottoms. They're trading against here, so all those people are gonna go short because they think there's a ton of people who see this and see the consolidation, and then they think, oh wow, look, they're gonna go long. Let's all go short, and so they trade against people who pick tops or / bottoms. And so everybody here starts going short because they're trading against the people who are trying to trade that bottoming pattern. But that's exactly why that bottoming pattern actually works out, because people are trying to short that, and buying there is the best option. And good trade. Very good trade. As you can see, that's crazy spike up. Okay. Nice. Some very, very good trading today. I want to see what I did here. Oh, it was that topping pattern. We were picking tops right here, but of course that's before even 10 a.m. so it's a completely different thing. Here people are continuously, I'm gonna go over this loss right here. So we had this pattern, and the reason this keeps happening, which is this setup right here, is because people are picking tops and those people are getting stopped out. People are picking tops, they're getting stopped out, picking tops, getting stopped out, picking tops, getting stopped out, picking tops, getting stopped out, tops, stopped out, tops, stopped out. And so essentially when you have this, wow, that's a great topping pattern, you'll get stopped out. And now this is a strong spike, and let's see, swing low, first entry, second entry. It would have been on this guy, right? Where's that at? Right here. It's a swing low, first entry, second entry. But coincidentally enough, selling on those actually works out for scalps. So swing low, first entry. Swing low, first entry, second entry, selling there. Swing low, first entry, selling there. It pulls down just enough, right? All right. Interesting, interesting. Let's keep going. See if we can get to. Let's double our goal. So this is this spike here. So we can imagine a ton of people shorting. All right. Here's a huge spike, huh? Huge spike. Let's see if we'll get triggered here. Not sure if we will. It might leave us. Oh. Oh, this green bar is our signal bar right here. Oh, it looks like it's gonna leave us. Come back. Come back. Oh, it left us. Oh man, that's a bad downside to trying to get enter non-obvious. Sometimes you'll get into trade, sometimes you won't. But on this particular day, it's a Wednesday. That's all right. But at least we were right about where the market was heading. One ticker would have worked, but there was almost no reason to take a one ticker. Yeah. Wait a minute! I just realized I could have entered in a second entry. Swing high first entry. Oh man. Oh boy. My feet sweaty. Could have also entered here on a swing low. First entry, non-obvious entry. That would have been a very good trade. I don't know why I'm missing these, man. Because the next one we're gonna take is probably gonna be a loser because we're gonna do a bad read or something like that, right? Jabla Brita. Switching to this guy because got more swings on a minute chart now. All right, back from getting food. All right, this one's an interesting one for sure. Let's take a look at the minute chart. So let's read again. Traders, they trade against traders who trade against the short-term trends. That should say with, I think. Trade against with short-term trends, so they're going long here. They trade against people who pick tops, but pick tops and spikes. So they're all actually going long here. So I think shorting here is actually a pretty good idea, right? All right, let's give it the one ticker. Looks like it's reversing, so we can imagine them going long, right? In the trade. Nice, let's go. To the tick though. Do we like that? Alright, more than enough. Ooh, it looks like we missed the trade. Buy there would have been a good one, I think. Actually, the overall trend is starting to turn down. Actually going long there. On a non-obvious question mark? We could still potentially enter it. Alright, let's take a look at the market. So we know that traders trade against the people who are picking tops, and this is starting to look at like that topping pattern. So they're all gonna end up going long. So actually going short is what you want to do, right? Because we went short right there, right? So going short right here, and then if it pushes down even a little bit more, easy trade. Nice, let's go. Just a little rule of thumb: if you're playing playback, don't go faster than 30. Oop, swing high first entry, so we know it's a downtrend now. They picked those tops on spikes though, so we can imagine all those people are buying right here. It's a spike, so actually selling here, but we would have to sell at a non-obvious, right? Because it's a spike down. Not really a spike, it's just like a move. If you take a look at the minute chart, it's not necessarily a spike, so we can't treat that as such. Even though as much as I want to, it just doesn't look like a spike. It just looks like a normal move like this, just on the other side. So, looks like they could actually be potentially buying because it's still that topping pattern. They're still trying to go long, right? Take a look at that, right? This could be a loss. Let's give it a shot. It's been a while since we got a loss though. It may not even get triggered here. Yep. No trigger. Probably not. Yeah, definitely not. Oh, well, a one ticker would have worked at least. Cool. So now the overall trend is down. The temporary trend is up. So we can imagine these traders. They trade against traders who trade. This should say with. I think. Let's put in parentheses because we're not 100% sure. Because I think we changed it at one point. and we changed it to with, and then ended actually up being against. But I'm not sure so far. With actually makes sense. They trade against traders who trade with short-term trends. So short-term trend, trade against them. Short-term trend, they're gonna trade against them. So buying could actually be a good trade here, and be your first opportunity coming off this like pattern here. So I do a one ticker, but probably not the best option. Oh, is this turning into a spike? No. Oh. Oh gosh. So they're gonna short here because a couple of reasons. Oh wow. Non-obvious would have worked. It should have been a non-obvious. It's not a spike, brother. It's also not a trend down. We would have got it already if we did a non-obvious. Ah, boy. Oh, we got it anyway. Let's go. I would have done a... Yeah, non-obvious is the thing you want to do there because it's not a strong downtrend yet. Yeah. Good trade. Good trade. So, one ticker or non-obvious, either one would have worked. I like the one ticker just due to the fact you're coming off these highs and it's that topping pattern, so you could imagine a ton of people selling. It's like having a strong trend down because now everybody sees that strong trend. So I like the one ticker, but you could also argue it's not a strong trend down just yet and non-obvious. So I guess it really depends on the setup. We just got super lucky here with that one ticker. Yeah, and couple of good things actually happening. So let's talk about that trade. Overall trend is down. Short-term trend is up. So automatically, we know a ton of people are going to try and push this market down, especially after that huge move. You could potentially argue for a non-obvious just because we had a strong trend up, and a lot of people, according to our notes, are going to stick with the overall trend and always go against it. So this is still a temporary trend that those moves down, red bars are still those temporary trend. So we can imagine still people are going long here. So you could argue that even at this point, it's still a temporary trend. And the overall trend is up and non-obvious entry. But this is what I did, which is essentially coming off those highs. Strong trend down. Overall trend is down now. Temporary trend or what do we call it? Small trend? I already forgot. Short-term trend. Short-term trend is up. One ticker entry because it's coming off, it's first opportunity off this topping pattern. One ticker, and then also there was something else. And if you consider this to be a spike, if you take a look at minute chart, it's gonna go, mi amor. Why you look at me like that? And if you look at it as a spike, people are gonna try to pick that top of that spike and try to short it. So that was another good reason to go long there. And yeah, just overall good trade, man. $61. Let's go. All right. I was gonna say you could have took that, but that happened in literally a couple seconds. Pushed up. This is 17 seconds. This formed in 1 second. This one literally formed in 1 second. As you can see, that's 1300, 17 seconds. 1 o'clock, 18 seconds. 1 o'clock, 19 seconds. This one's still 1 o'clock, 18 seconds. So these are in the same literal second. So we can't treat it like, oh, they're picking the tops. So I would just stay out of this because that's just madness. But we can actually imagine them shorting. Why am I maxing this? This is crazy. We can imagine them shorting this, right? So technically going long is actually probably a good idea if we, oh my gosh, oh what the, I'm staying out of that. 1 o'clock. Maybe we stop day trading at 1. I'm gonna call it. That was pretty good trading. Next video is gonna be playback of today, which is gonna be January 21st. Alright, peace out. We didn't trade live, as I said in the beginning of this video. That was a pretty good video, very good trades. January 13th. Let's go.